welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I've got a great show for you. On Wednesdays, we always talk about Cambodia. And so I asked my students this morning to write me a little something about what they value most. I gave them some examples, maybe family, maybe money, different things. And I said, you could think of something else, whatever you value most. So I have their answers here. And I'm going to share them with you, and then we can discuss. I hope that maybe some of my students will join me. I did share with them my YouTube channel. I told them it has nothing to do with your grade. You do not have to subscribe. You do not have to join. But if you'd like to practice listening to English, then you're welcome. So let's get started. What do Cambodian, Khmer, Gen Z, what does the Gen Z generation value most? Well, the first one I have here is titled My Family. My family is very important to me. By the way, is the sound okay before I get going with this? I do have my fan on, but it's behind the microphone, so I'm trusting that it's not interfering with the sound. So anyway, okay, I'll start. Okay, Mumsy says it's okay. Excellent. So here we go. My family is very important to me. In my family, there are 6 people. We live in different houses. I have 1 brother and 4 sisters. They have married. My father and mother are farmers. Every day they plant crops at their farm. My family is small, but we have kind hearts, or we are kind-hearted. I love them so much. They always support me anytime. I am lucky to be born in my family. Okay, so there's one for family. The next one is titled A Gen Z Khmer. As a Gen Z Khmer, I value family the most because they always support and care for me. I also respect religion because it teaches me good behavior and helps me stay calm. Then education and money are important to me because they help me build a better future. After that, friends matter because they understand me and share my experiences. Finally, I try to balance traditional values with modern life as a Gen Z Khmer. Okay, so family is first, but also recognizing many other things that are important to have a well-rounded life. Okay. Next, my value most as a Gen Z Khmer. I value providing family and money. That is factually sound and intellectually honest. Because family and money are seen as the 2 most important pillars of a stable life. They provide different but complementary security. I'm guessing, I'm going to go out on a limb here. I'm guessing she expressed herself in Khmer to a translation app and then wrote the translation, okay? Because I don't think any of my students have the vocabulary and the correct grammar that I see here, okay? But I don't think she just asked it to give, to write something random. I think these are her words, but translated properly. For example, if you are going to study at university, you must have money to support your studies and living expenses. Overall, I think money and family are the most valuable. Okay. Another one they're not all family, okay? And I didn't put them in any order, but the majority were family. But let's see why. Yeah. As a Gen Z Khmer, I value my family most because my family is my everything. They always support and give me a good advice. They take care of me and worry about me a lot. They never say no when I ask them money to pay for school. They teach me some lessons that the school didn't teach. They sometimes blame me, but very words that they say is calm with love. When I do something wrong, they always listen to my reason carefully. Without them, I wouldn't be in this world. Isn't this refreshing compared to a lot of the we see so much Gen Z stuff on the internet of them just being stupid, right? Call it like it is. But this generation, I mean, at least the Gen Z in Cambodia, they're really trying to learn and get educated. So let's see. The next one, the title is simply family. As a Gen Z Khmer, I value family important because support is very important for Cambodian culture. The mother can give happiness, warm. Also, father gives the good advice, teaching in a good way as a Cambodian's culture. Brother and sister help to give some money. A family is home, comfort zone. Family plays a big role in our decisions and life. The next one, also titled, My Family. The thing I value most in life is my family. They always encourage me, don't give up on doing something. Family is a happy place for me and always bring me many good things. I love my family so much. I am really happy to be born into this family. So this makes me think, because this is good, okay? This person comes from a good family, and it looks like most of these students do. And that's why they value family, because they have a good family structure. And I don't want you to think that everybody, that Cambodia has it all worked out and all the families are perfect, because that's not the case. And so maybe some of those young people don't end up in my class, right? There is domestic violence. There are families that aren't perfect, okay? But at least these students seem to come from good families. Here's one titled, Money. Money is very important for young generation in the age of technology. Daily needs require a lot of money because everyday life involves spending on education, food, clothing, and many necessary items. Even traveling also requires money. Many people have to work hard to make money. Having a lot of money can make us have everything. When we have a lot of money, we can buy everything we want. So what's valuable to me is money. Okay, this one just has they don't have a title as much as they wrote what I put on the board as the question to them. What do you value most as a Gen Z Khmer? I value family the most as a Gen Z Khmer because family is worth than everything around the world, is worth more than everything around the world. Family is always with me, no matter what. When I lost everything, like motivation, my parents hug me and make everything feel better and warm all the time. I really appreciate and love them the most. My family takes care of me, supporting me, and they can do anything that makes me happy without begging. Especially, I love the way they are showing their love to me, such as speaking and action. They all wrote these in like 10, 15 minutes. I told them 10 to 15 minutes, but I don't know. We spent maybe 20, 30 minutes because they weren't finished and they were really they were really into writing this. The most value as a Gen Z Khmer. Gen Z is a new generation before Gen Alpha. There are a lot of people who are born in Gen Z, such as me. I'm also Gen Z too. So I know what Gen Z needs. Nowadays, the most important for Gen Z is money, because this generation almost is student who studies at high school or university. I think they mean almost everyone in this generation studies in high school and university, which is actually an accomplishment because they're even the millennials, a lot of them didn't finish school. They started school. If you remember Chani, she did not finish high school. Well, I don't think she dropped out like maybe 5th or 6th grade kind of thing, right? There's a high dropout rate in Cambodia for anyone before Gen Z. So, because usually they have to like help the family make money and start working is why. So that's what they're expressing here, I think. So that almost everyone is a student who studies at high school or university. They don't have work to do. They can't earn money. So they need a lot of money to pay for their studying or pay for anything else. Now I still use money from my parents for my studying. So I think Gen Z is very need money first. Okay, needs money first. When we have money, we have anything. Okay, back to family. My family is very value. No one can help us except our family. My family always supports, helps all my problems. When I live with my family, it makes me happy, comfortable, safe, and relaxing. Family loves me and takes care of me. I love my family. Only our family loves us and is honest with us. So here's another money. Money is important, is our daily life. We use money to buy food, clothes, and also to buy anything we need. People earn money by working, and they can save money for the future. Money also helps us pay for education and support our family. A lot of people, when they get jobs, they don't just use the money for themselves. They send it to their families to help support their families. So we use money wisely. Oh, if we use money wisely, it can help us live a better life. I use money every day, and money helps people buy things. People work to earn money. Saving money is good for the future. If you have, I think she means if you have money, you have everything. And I think that's it. I think this is the first one again. Yes. So that's what Gen Z Khmer values most. Family and money. What do you value most? And we also got a little insight into Cambodian life and Cambodian culture. A lot of people, like I said, they work to send money back to their family. If they leave home to work, they don't just keep it all for themselves. They're not using it to be independent, right? They're not going out and getting that job so that they can get their own apartment and be independent and have freedom. No, 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 no. They're still part of that family. They're going and getting that job so that they can help support their family. And then what's left over, they can spend on themselves, right? Yes, very interesting. And social media is really big here. Facebook is huge. And I think it's because Facebook was the first social media app on the smartphones that you could send a speaking message, right? Now all the apps do it, okay? But back when all the social media apps were first starting, Facebook did it where you could hold the button and record your voice, because a lot of Cambodians, especially older Cambodians, are illiterate. They can't read. So there's two factors. Number one, a lot of people can't read. Number two, if they can read and write, the fonts were not supported. There was no Unicode for the Cambodian alphabet, right? And so what people would do is, like, they would write something and then take a picture of it and then send the picture, and then the person could read the picture, right? So when that's what they were doing before this voice option, right? So once they had that instant voice option, not calling somebody and talking to them, but basically like a voicemail, right? You could leave a voicemail, so you could leave a message with your voice, and then the other person would listen to it, and then they would speak back. And because it had that function, it became the primary social media app. Now TikTok is also getting really big, and so is Instagram. I have an Instagram account. I think I have a TikTok account. I'm not sure. And I just don't use them very often. I have a Twitter account, which is now called X, but I kind of like always call it Twitter, and there's a lot of Cambodian information that ends up on Twitter. But I don't think it's as large as Facebook first, and then second and third is probably the TikTok and Instagram. And then there's a lot of people, they, I know in America, people are really, I don't know, I don't want to say afraid. They're not afraid of China, but they're very distrusting of China, right? Whereas that attitude is not here. There's a lot of Chinese culture that influences Cambodians. So we actually celebrate 3 New Years in Cambodia as 3 bank holidays. 2 are public holidays, like officially from the government public holidays, which are January 1st and they call it International New Year. And then the Khmer New Year, which is in April. But the third one, the banks will close. A lot of businesses will close, even though it's not a government holiday. They'll put a notice up a week before of what dates they're going to be, like where I get my pet food, the feed store that I go to, because it's a feed store. They got food for ducks and chickens and pigs and cows and whatever, in addition to dogs and cats. And they have all the veterinary medicines and things like that people raising livestock need. So it is a feed store. And they put up a sign before Chinese New Year to let us know, for about 4 or 5 days, they're going to be closed. So basically, make sure you stock up on what you need before Chinese New Year, which is usually sometime in February. Rarely it will be like the last week of January or the first week of March, but it usually falls in February. So we celebrate three New Years in Cambodia. What else can I tell you about Cambodia? Do you have any questions? Any questions about life or culture in Cambodia? I'd be happy to answer anything. Either that, or maybe this will just be a short video for tonight. And then maybe more people will watch the replay because they don't have to think, oh, I got to watch this for an hour, right? Oh, it's only 20 minutes. Yeah, I got 20 minutes. I'll see what she says. You know, I'm thinking about, every day that I'm out on my motorcycle, going to school to teach or going to tutoring, I'm always thinking about where would be a good place that I could just sit near an intersection or something and do a live stream. Why a week off for New Year's, not one day? Oh, what a great question. So yeah, be watching that. I might, and if I do that, see, this is 9 o'clock at night for me. So if I do a lot, I'll answer that in just a second. Let me finish this thought. If I do a traffic live stream, then it will probably be in my daytime, and maybe in the morning, which would be your evening instead of the middle of the night. Like, oh, I can't sleep. Oh, look, Miriam's talking. Okay, I'll watch the traffic. You know, hey, Frugal, just in time. Good evening and good morning, depending on where you are. So Mumsy had just asked, why a week off for New Year and not one day? So International New Year is just one day. Okay, January 1st is a public holiday. And so that's one day. Chinese New Year and Khmer New Year is actually 3 days. It's usually the 13th, 14th, and 15th. Rarely it's the 14th, 15th, and 16th, but usually it's the 13th, 14th, and 15th of April. And that's just the cultural, the religious aspect of it. There's different ceremonies and things that are, and traditions that are done on each of the 3 days. And what people will tend to do is, let's say it falls, and it can be on different days of the week, right? So if it falls on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and the labor law here is you basically get 1 month of personal leave. And if you don't take it, they give you like a month's salary at the end. You get a month, like a bonus of a month's salary at the end of the year. I don't know all the particulars of the labor law. That's not my specialty. But let's say you take personal leave days on Monday and Friday, right? Now you've got you've got Saturday, Sunday, personal leave Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday is New Year, and then Friday is personal leave, and you got another Saturday and Sunday, right? So a lot of people will plan around various holidays like that, so that they get more bang for their buck. They only had to use 2 personal days, but they got a week and a half off. Woohoo, a $200 bonus. Well, yeah. Minimum wage here is like $220, I think. If you're working in a factory, maybe $223. It just went up this year by a few dollars. So yes, you're correct. It would be an extra $200, but that's a lot here. You know, even for a foreigner, that would be like a month's rent for free, you know. Yeah, so that's good. And you get 6 day, sick days and things. So the labor law is pretty good. I'd say the labor law has more benefits than the average American company. Even though the amount is smaller, but most people they're eating a rice-based diet, and they're not buying imported rice. They're buying domestic rice. Most people do not have loans on their houses, so they don't have rent. They just have electricity, and they're not using aircon, so their electricity bill is maybe $20 a month. And if you've got 3 or 4 people in the family living in the house that are working, now that's being combined to the family income, people are doing all right. There's plenty of people having coffee every day, eating at restaurants or street food. Yeah. And if you're working for like a larger company, like for a bank or an insurance company, something like this, then you might be making $300 or $400 a month. Yeah, it's good for the people if the amount is small. Yeah. Frugal says he pays 2,500 real per kilogram for his rice at the market. Yes. And so that's just over 50 cents, about 60 cents or so per kilogram, for rice. And Cambodians, they get the big 50-pound bags, however many kilograms, they're getting those big gunny sack size. I don't know, maybe that's like 100 pounds, those bags that we in America, we would call them like gunny sacks or something, right? Yeah, they're buying it like that, but they're probably buying that like for the week. You have some rice and some fish sauce, and some verhok, and you're doing good. But yeah, they don't need a lot of extras. It's living simply, and that's a good thing. What in the U.S. we might, or the West, we would call it living minimalist, right? Frugal says his girlfriend wanted to get a manicure and was waiting until February to get it done. She gets paid monthly, so it was going to cost her $7 for a full manicure. So you gave her $10. Oh, so sweet. But that's the thing. People, they don't mind. They don't have that instant gratification. And we're talking about values, right? At least not yet, right? There are some banks, and the Aeon Mall has an Aeon Finance where you can buy things on a credit basis, but usually you have to have some kind of collateral in order to do that. It's not like just free credit where you don't have any collateral behind it. Frugal told her to get her nails done and get dinner with the extra $3. Yes. That sounds nice. I made some salsa. I have this this chopper thing. It's right here. I'll show you. So it's one of these deals, and then you have the blades, right? And then you put the lid on it. And then you have the motor part that just sits on the top, like that. So it's basically a food processor. Then you just push the button and it chops everything up. So I had onions, well, tomatoes and onions. And then instead of cilantro, they have an herb here that's called chirona. That's the Khmer name for it. I don't know any English name for it. And but it has the similar flavor to cilantro, but stronger. So it's like, why should I get cilantro, which they call coriander, when I can use the chirona, which is cheaper and has better flavor? So I have the tomatoes, the onions, basically the cilantro, the leaves. And then I put mango. I add mango and salt and pepper. I think that's it. That's all I did, and mushed it all up, and it's in my refrigerator right now. It is like so good. Yeah, it's a nice salsa machine. You can grind anything with it, you know. I don't know how coffee beans would do. It's not a grinder, but yeah, it's good. I like to use it for. I mean, you can use it for, I was going to say, making dog food. But you can also just chop the vegetables and put them in water and boil them. And then just use like a potato masher and mash them up after they're done cooking. You know, where this, I would use it like to get everything small, to like puree the different vegetables that are good for dogs, and then boil that. Can go either way. Frugal says he made hot chicken sandwiches and mashed potatoes and peppercorn gravy and ratatouille for dinner tonight for your girlfriend and her daughter. Oh my goodness, that sounds amazing. I love, you know, it's when Cambodians ask me, what's your favorite food? I tell them marek krochma, which means pepper and lime. And so they have this great thing where you get this little dish, and there's pepper and kind of salt, and it's very finely ground, and then you just squeeze lime in it and stir it up, and so it's just pepper and lime basically, and it's. So it's a sauce, and they generally only use it with beef. So if they're, and they usually will like barbecue the beef on a spit, rather than and then slice off pieces of the beef instead of like actually cooking a steak. I'm a cook also. Yeah. Oh, Mumsy says yes. Oh, Mumsy's saying, oh, Frugal's a cook also. Yes, he has experience as a chef from Canada. Yeah, he loves the pepper line with frog legs. See, I love it even like with vegetables. Sometimes I'll give you a plate of, carrots and not celery, but carrots and cucumbers and leaves, different kinds of, they just call it they call leaves salad. Lettuce is called salad, which is, oops, what happened? Oh, okay. Calling lettuce salad is actually a European thing as well. So they probably learned it from the French. And anyway, yeah, I love it with everything. Chicken, the pepper lime sauce. So that's why I tell, and they laugh because when they ask what's your favorite food, they're thinking a muk or a curry or some noodles or the rice and pork or what. They're thinking it's going to be a dish, right? But I fool them and I tell them marek krochma. It is such a perfect sauce, and with the Campot peppercorns, it's great. As Frugal is saying, a floral flavor profile. Yeah. So when I send things to the U.S., peppercorns are usually so when I went in September, I got like a kilo of black pepper. If I had more money, I would have gotten some red pepper and some white pepper as well, and kind of made like a little trio of the three colors. But I didn't have that much money, so I just got 1 kilo of peppercorns, and I'm talking about from the lady that gets them in a huge sack from Campot, and she's using a scoop to scoop it out into the plastic bag that I'm taking away with me. So it's like I'm getting I get them wholesale. I'm not buying them in a shop with a markup. Oh my gosh, you love prahak. No. Prahak is a fermented fish paste. It's a fish paste, and it's fermented, and yeah, I'll pass on that. But so more for you. See, that's what I always tell Cambodians when they want to give me something that I don't like. I just say more for you. Frugal says he sent Campot pepper to his son in Canada. He works with a Khmer chef there. He is from Campot and cried when my son showed up with Campot peppercorns. Oh, that is so sweet. Oh my goodness. Yeah. So I brought that, and then so I had my kilo bag, and then I got, like little bags like this, and then little, or actually they were baggies. My mom had like little snack bag, because you have sandwich baggies, and then now they also make baggies that are smaller. They're still as wide as a sandwich, but they're only about this short. So, but it would be about this much peppercorn, and then that way I gave them as gifts to more people. And then I also brought some moringa. Mumsy, did you send the moringa? Did we do that together while I was there? Or I think I left the moringa there. I just wanted to check if you had actually sent it to my family in Georgia. So if you're into health food and stuff, moringa is a supplement that people like, and it grows here, and it's super cheap. And so I got like a big bag of moringa. Frugal says, you eat all of the prahak. You only say, you eat all of the Khmer food. Okay. And you only say no to Western food. And he bought a great Campot pepper blend at the Russian market. It's black, red, and white, a perfect blend. Yes, I think I'm not sure if you showed that on on one of your videos. I seem to recall you doing that. Another great. I just go to Psa Kandal near the riverside, but also Odra Market in Phnom Penh is another place that has wholesale. Well, everything is wholesale. People who have shops that sell things, whether it's like plastic or machines or clothes or toys or food products, everything at Oversight Market is wholesale, and shops go there to get their supplies to sell in other places. So yeah, you did a video. You got it with your friends in September. Oh yeah, the day that you met Chani for dinner on the riverfront. Last time you saw her. Good riddance, I guess. Yeah. But I certainly miss having her here, without the drama, just having her cook and clean and everything, especially when I finally figured out Walk Street and how we can sell the Americana food. Got that sorted out, and now she's not here to reap the benefits of it, which then hinders me, because now I don't have someone to cook and to help, sell at the table. So I'm still looking. I tell everybody that I meet, that I'm if they have any family or anything that might be interested. But no takers. Don't miss the random weird text from her. Yeah. When you translate the Khmer language into English using Google Translate, for example, it never gets it quite right. Going from English to Khmer, that direction is pretty good. But going the other way, you get some interesting, text messages for sure. And you have to like figure out like, like I was telling you, the cilantro is an herb called chirona, which literally means the like a handsaw, because you know how the handsaw has the jagged edges. Well, this leaf has jagged edges like a saw. So it's basically herb saw, like leafy herb saw. And so if they're saying that in Khmer, they might not translate it to cilantro, it's not exactly cilantro anyway, but it might translate it literally. And then you're like looking at it going, what? Hey, traveling fools in the house. Yo, yo, yo. I don't know why Chrome keeps opening a tab for help. How can we help you? I'm not touching anything. There's no cats. And it keeps popping over there. It won't let me stay on this tab. Close it. I close the tab and it just opens up again. And then I try to click over to my studio and it just goes back over to the Chrome Help tab. Come on. That is like I don't know why Chrome is doing that. I guess it's telling me it's time to finish. You have no idea what dancing means when translated from Khmer. Hey, Gibbo is in the house. I can see that. No cats. What happened? Well, they're sleeping. And the extra ones I have outside the room. And then Baby and Piggy are on the bed. Oh, this is irritating. So I'm going to have to say goodbye, even though we just got a few new people. But I hope you watch the replay in the beginning. What I did is I had students write for me about what they value most, and I read everything. I read without their names, and I did tell them when they finished writing and they passed them in. I told them that I would be reading them on my live stream without their names, so they know. I don't know if any of them joined to watch, but it'd be nice, Anyway, yeah. So tomorrow we'll do some kind of game. I don't know what the topic will be, but we'll do some kind of trivia game and have some fun. And who knows, one of these days I might do a random live stream with the traffic, and just sit there and watch and let you see what it's like, because it's quite interesting how the traffic flows around here. But I don't want to be like sitting in the sun. I got to have like a nice shady spot to sit. So I'm scout every time I'm out on my motorcycle. I'm kind of scouting like where would be. It's like I want to do it, but where would be the best place to do it? That's interesting for you to see how the traffic flow is, and that I'm not sitting in the sun or something. I'll have to be in the shade. Old White Lady is here. Finally made a live. Hello from Oregon. Great. Yes. Well, I hope you can join tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel. and we'll do some trivia. Or if you're only interested in Cambodia, that's every Wednesday. So unless I do some random live stream about the traffic. So go ahead and turn on that notification bell. You know, I'm not going to be blasting you all the time with it. At most once a day, you're going to get a notification. But some days, you know, I only promise to be on 4 times a week. Anything more than that is just bonus for you. You'll try to be here. Good, good. We missed you on the music. We had fun last night with the music trivia. So, yeah. So if you guys did not get to see me reading these paragraphs from my students, from my Gen Z students, then be sure to go ahead and watch the replay and check that out. Okay. So, hey, before I go, I got to remind you that love transcends time and space. So wherever and whenever you're watching this, I love you. All right. So until the next time, catch you later.